So you talk about being able to create those spaces in which you can be 100% you. Again, I tell you, for women, it's pretty easy. If you are a man, and for all the men out there looking for those spaces, how do you go about that?
Yeah, I think there's really three main things that I focus on to create those spaces. First, just announcing it. Hey, we're in this group. What we say, we're all going to agree that what we say here is confidential. It stays here. It doesn't go anywhere else. There's not going to be any gossip or sharing. We really have to have that trust. And you just have to state that intentionally. Like, this is what this group is about. This is one of the ground rules. And if you're not comfortable with that, that's okay. You might not be a fit for the group, but we're really here just to talk about what's important and what's on our heart. The second thing, and I do this in the book, I start every chapter with how I messed up. And that's an authenticity and a vulnerability piece that I think does need to be demonstrated more to men than women. Just to say, I don't have it all figured out. And I'm going to admit that to you. I'm going to confess that to you publicly. Hey, here's how I messed up. Brene Brown, if you've read any of her work, she's a master of it. She calls that courage, the courage to be authentic, the courage to be your true self and to say it. I have to lead with that. I have to demonstrate and say, me too. I don't have it all figured out, but we can figure it out together. We're going to make mistakes. Progress is nonlinear. You'll have some ups, you'll have some downs. But overall, you want the trajectory to be, we'll just say up and to the right, as we say in business and all the graphs that we try to put on our fancy PowerPoints, right? So lead with intentionality of saying this is a group is the first one, being authentic is the second one. And then finally, just inviting the group to be themselves and let them know that they're not going to be judged. And if you put those three ingredients together, people will open up. But with men, it's even a little trickier sometimes. You can't sit down for a cup of coffee and say, hey, let's talk about your feelings. That just doesn't feel normal. That doesn't feel natural. So you can do something. You can do it in activities, events. You can just go on a walk. I mean, shoulder to shoulder is so much more effective, I think, a lot of times to get a relationship going with men than the face to face across the table. My boys enjoy athletics and playing games, golf, tennis, baseball, pickleball, playing catch in the backyard. That was the magic. I'd say, hey, let's go play catch in the backyard. And they just start talking in a very different way as young men than they would if I sat them down and said, hey, let's talk about what's going on here. It just kind of opens up their heart a little bit, less stressful for them. They open up a little bit more with activities and events.